Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order, please.
Regular meeting of Washington, Missouri City Council, February 5th, 2018, 7 p.m. Brinker.
Here.
Heidrich. Holtmeyer.
Here.
Moheski. Patke.
Here.
Skornia.
Here.
Sullentrup.
Here.
Waterman.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will all the council members answer if they have or have not read the minutes of the council meetings dated January 16th and 22nd, 2018? Brinker?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Moheski? Patke?
Yes.
Skornia?
Yes.
Sullentrup?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
Having read the minutes, are there any comments or questions?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Brinker, seconded by Holtmeyer, to approve the minutes from our last meetings dated January 16 and January 22, 2018. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the minutes. Thank you.
Approval and adjustment of agenda, including consent agenda. You have no consent agenda this evening.
Nice.
So we need a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Brinker, seconded by Holtmeyer, to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the agenda. Thank you.
Priority items, Capital Improvement Sales Tax Committee recommendation.
Within your packets, you have a letter that was signed by John Vietmeyer, the committee chair for the Capital Improvement Sales Tax Committee. As you can see from the dates that he references in the letter, the committee started back on October 24th, received several projects, and as we told you at the last admin ops meeting, we would go ahead and forward this to you so that you could accept this into the minutes. And the next 2 pages break down all of the projects totaling approximately $16.3 million. So unless there's any questions, I think all we need from you is to accept this into the minutes.
The only question I have, Darren, is if we do go out for bonds, where are we going to get the money from?
Our intent right now is to not go out for bonds. I think
So the projects, just wait until we get the money?
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about that in the sales tax meeting. I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Holtmeyer, seconded by Skornia, to accept the letter from John Vietmeyer regarding the capital improvement sales tax, to accept that letter into the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you accepted the letter. Thank you.
Mayor's presentations, appointments and reappointments. Certificate of Appreciation, Cora Rademacher.
If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about recognizing individuals or organizations that contribute money to some of our projects, Rotary Lions. You know, we wanted to make sure that those organizations knew that we appreciated their efforts and appreciated their contributions. And then Claire, we were talking about this one day at a department head meeting, and Claire let us know that Cora Rademacher has generously donated $5,000 to the Washington Public Library. So this is our first effort at these certificate appreciations we're going to be doing. And we're thinking that we'll start inviting the organizations in. So for our first one, we have a certificate of appreciation. Whereas Cora Rademacher has generously donated $5,000 to the Washington Public Library, and whereas the donation will be used to purchase a Ricoh multifunction copier for public use in the library. Now therefore I, Sandy Lucy, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor, and on behalf of our governing body and all our citizens, do hereby tender this certificate of appreciation to extend a heartfelt thank you and express warm appreciation to Cora Rademacher for her generous donation to the Washington Public Library. Signed, Sandy Lucy, Mayor. And Mrs. Rademacher is Nell Redditch's aunt. So she would be Ben Geisert's sister. That's the connection there. So I'm going to give that to you, and if you'd like to comment on the copier or so.
We got it today. It's plugged in. I successfully sent a fax, so it just needs to be networked now. Our patrons and staff will be very happy with it, so we're very thankful. I called Cora and she said, I'm 97 years old and I don't get out much anymore, so, but she was very thankful that we were offering this certificate for her donation, so thank you.
Great. Cool.
So we will have more of those or
Correct.
next month.
Correct.
So we already, so try to keep that going to just thank the individuals who help support us.
Park and Recreation Commission appointment, reappointments.
Okay, we have 2 reappointments to the Park Commission. That would be Tessie Steffens and Dan Cassette. And those appointments are until 2020, I believe, right?
Correct.
Is that what I said?
2020, all of them.
Yes. And then the other one is a new appointment, and that would be Gavin Woolley. Gavin currently serves on the Miller Post Nature Reserve Board, and he expressed an interest in serving on the Park Board as well. So he will be a new member to our Park Board. So any questions or comments?
What place is Gavin taking?
Gavin is taking
Yeah, Karen Money,
Kieran Maniaci, so,
and I thought she had one other one.
and we have another one that,
Aaron, do you know what, do you have still one other one after that?
yeah.
There's a replacement for Bill Cackley.
Okay.
Yeah, so, him as well.
Do you have other names, Your Honor, for,
I have one, but I can take more.
okay. So as a general rule, if someone's interested to
Just let us know.
get it to us, we can get it to you for recommendations. Perfect.
Right.
Motion to accept?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Brinker, seconded by Patke, to approve the reappointments of Tessie Steffens and Dan Cassette, and the appointment of Gavin Woolley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the appointments. Thank you.
Citizens' comments.
Is there anyone here who would like to address the council on any item that is not on the agenda? Okay.
Report of department heads. Police Department Life-Saving Award presentation.
Officer Beesman, front center. We have a life-saving award to give out tonight. We continue to have a drug problem like every community does. So we face overdoses every month. Officer Beesman, like all officers, has Narcan. Went to an overdose case, administered Narcan, and helped revive that victim. I'm going to have Captain Armstrong read the citation, and then either the mayor can or we'll get his girlfriend to pin his life-saving award on.
Oh. Or both, yeah. So anyway.
Okay. All right, Washington Police Department Life Saving Award. Awarded to Officer Kyle Beesman, DSN 248, for exceptional performance of duty and quick reaction to a life safety incident. On January 1st, 2018, Officer Beesman was dispatched to 1927 Mike Allen Drive for a possible overdose. Officer Paula Pfeiffer also responded to assist. Upon arrival, the victim was located on the floor of the bathroom of the residence. There was a syringe close by the victim, and upon checking, it was found he barely had a pulse. Suspecting a heroin overdose, Officer Beesman began life-saving measures. He administered Narcan to the victim. Ambulance personnel arrived on the scene and administered more Narcan. The victim began to revive and began to vomit. The victim was transported to Mercy Hospital by Washington EMS. The victim recovered from the drug overdose. If Narcan had not been administered in such a timely manner, the victim may have succumbed to the overdose before ambulance personnel arrived. Awarded this 5th day of February in the year 2018, Chief Edward T. Menifee.
Thank you, guys. No.
I do want to take some time to give another recognition. Officer Garrett, front center. Officer Garrett, like about every officer we have, is CIT certified, crisis intervention trained. He's trained in how to deal with people with mental health problems or that are in mental health crisis. We have the Franklin County CIT Council. Every year we review all the things the officers did in the county, and officers are named for awards. So Officer Garrett this year received a CIT Officer of the Year award from our agency for his exemplary work in dealing with those individuals with mental health issues and a mental health crisis. So I wanted to get him up here and recognize him for that.
Parks fee waiver request.
In your packet, you have a letter from East Central College requesting the waiver of the fees for the use of the main stage out at the fairgrounds. This is for their Pops concert. They've been doing it for the past several years. And in the past, administration waived the fee, but with our revenue and pricing policy through Parks, the Parks Commission needs to approve it and bring it on to council for approval. This is something that's offered to the community for free of charge, and I think it's a good thing for the community.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
And we have a motion by Hydrich, seconded by Holtmeyer, to approve the well, actually, it looks like we're just going to accept that into the minutes. No, we're going to approve the request. So to approve the request from East Central College, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the request. Thank you.
2017 Annual Building Permit Report.
In your packet is the building report, John, or?
I'll let, if John has, we provide you with an annual building report every year to go ahead and give you an idea. This is based on the calendar year 2017. You can see some of the, on page 4, you can see some of the projects that were included with that. That's not all inclusive, but it gives you some of the larger projects. And John, I don't know if you have any other comments.
No, I would just add that in 2017, we had a fairly substantial amount of single-family homes platted. I would look for that to continue in 2018. It does seem that way. We actually have houses going up in 5 different subdivisions within town, with the most at the overlook at Weber Farms. So I would see I would project an uptick in single-family construction.
What is it, we're on target to do the same amount we did, or we've already?
Well, we had, I think, it was 2000, I think, since 2006.
That's correct.
That was the last time we had as many building permits issued. And so, but you can see on page 2 of that bottom chart, there is 2003 was like when we had close to 100 single-family permits. We've never gotten back to that number, but we are, as John said, on the uptick, I think, for 2018 to be quite a year. So that part is good.
Any questions or comments?
Make a motion, to accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Sullentrup, seconded by Hydrich, to accept this item into the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you accepted the item. Thank you.
If you have any questions between now and at the end of the month, John McCreary will be here for that, for the admin ops. So if you see this report and have questions, he'll be happy to answer those.
Delinquent real estate and personal property taxes as of December 31st, 2017.
Okay, in your packet tonight is the delinquent real estate and personal property taxes. Mary did comment that this was as of December 31, and a lot of those have been paid now in January. I mean, but this was, the cutoff date was December 31, so.
Correct.
Some of those are paid now, but that's the annual report that's in the packet every year.
Motion to accept.
Do we send up just one bill, or do we send like a second bill to them?
County does.
We don't, the county
The
does.
county does.
Okay,
Our bill is generated from the county.
okay,
Correct.
all right.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Brinker, seconded by Sullentrup, to accept this report into the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you accepted the report. Thank you.
Ordinances and resolutions. An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a service agreement with Aramark Uniform Services.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Councilman Holtmeyer.
I'm sorry, City Clerk Mary Trentman brought it to my attention that the contract for our, the contract for our uniforms for Public Works, Parks, Building Maintenance was up this year. So we've been working with Tony and Darren and Kevin Quatham on to come up with if there was any changes that we would want to see. One of the higher topic items was the visibility of some of the shirts. I don't know if you've seen, but some of our refuse collectors, building maintenance people have like a brown kind of tan colored shirt that was not ANSI Class 3 rated. They do kind of overlap in some of their job descriptions, such as the building maintenance people shovel some snow, things like that, where there could be in contact with some traffic, things of that nature. So in working with all the departments, we decided to go with one high-vis yellow shirt with visibility and safety being the primary concern, and then denim pants as well. So all those departments will be required to wear those uniforms. And Mary did assist us in going out to bid. I think we received 5 bidders, if I recall. And it was a cost reduction of approximately $6,000 a year. So we kind of, the 65-35 polyester, which keep things a lot more cool for the people working. So we felt it's a pretty good bid to move forward with.
Do we have a uniform policy?
We are working on getting a more strict, rigid uniform policy.
Like I know we talked about the steel toe shoes.
Perfect. You led right into it. We've been working internally, just discussing within staff about a steel toe, composite toe, safety toe type policy. I put together some framework that's been kicked out to the department heads that we are in the middle of reviewing. Essentially what it would do is the idea would be to provide some sort of a reimbursement program if you purchased those type of shoes to a certain dollar amount. Our goal was to get this uniform cost down to offset the cost of that program. And so far, that first goal has been met, we feel. So that will be coming up, and we will be presenting that hopefully within the first quarter here or second quarter of 2018.
Any other questions or comments?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a service agreement with Aramark Uniform Services. Hydrich.
Aye.
Scornia.
Yes.
Patke.
Yes.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Brinker.
Yes.
Waterman.
Yes.
Sullentrup.
Yes.
Woheski.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance accepting the bid from Key Equipment and Supply Company, Maryland Heights, Missouri, to approve the purchase of a 2018 14 cubic yard self-contained leaf vacuum by the City of Washington, Missouri.
Introduced by Councilman Brinker. Tony?
I know we spoke about this at the operations meeting, so it's just a replacement. We're going to replace 2 of our older units and bring in a brand new one, and I think you see the price on it was really good, so pretty cut and dry.
Any questions or comments?
Getting rid of the old ones, I guess.
You know, the 2 that run independently from a truck, you got to have like a tractor, the vacuum, and the basket. We're going to do away with those.
Are you going to start on which end of town next year with it?
Starting west, going east.
More trees on the east.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you,
I have
Tony.
one question about the recycle center. Are we still accepting trees from commercial cutters from out of?
We are, and we are charging them.
We are charging them now.
We're charging contractors, correct?
Yep.
I would add that it's a very minimum charge. It's I think it's was it $2 a
$2
cubic yard?
yard, so it's reasonable, but at least it's something.
I know they cut down a big tree up at the Washington Business Center there on 14th Street. It was 36 inches on the stump, and I said, what are you doing with all the wood? And they go, we're taking out the recycling center.
That wood was set to the side, and every bit of it's been scavenged off for firewood. Except for the brush and all the limbs and stuff, all the trunks, it's almost all gone.
I would also add that we have turned away contractors if they brought stumps or you know, wood material that had rocks or a significant amount of mud and debris. So we have been working with them on letting them know, hey, we will turn you away if it is not clean debris, because it does, in the end, potential to cost us some money if we run those through a grinder. So we're doing what we can to kind of keep those costs low and still provide the service.
All right, thank you.
An ordinance accepting the bid from Key Equipment and Supply Company, Maryland Heights, Missouri, and to approve the purchase of a 2018 14 cubic yard self-contained leaf vacuum by the City of Washington, Missouri. Heidrich?
Aye.
Skornia?
Yes.
Patchke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Brinker?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
Sullendrup?
Yes.
Moheski?
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a supplemental agreement by and between the City of Washington and the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for the Bluff Road Improvements Project, STP 6400-623 in the City of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Councilman Holtmeyer.
Okay, as I've been presenting over the past couple months, the Bluff Road project with the box culvert replacement has exceeded the original estimate. So I've been looking at different ways to corral to leverage some federal funds. We have a funding source called non-attributable funds, which is essentially an 80-20 grant that we are not in competition against other people. That does go away in 2019. So I have approximately $240,000 to spend between now and 2019. The other half of those dollars is what we're doing with the West Main sidewalk expansion. So as an effort, in an effort to leverage those federal funds and offset those additional costs with that box culvert replacement, we need to do this supplemental agreement with MoDOT, and that does increase the non-attributable funds $150,000. And we are very, very close to meeting the last engineer's estimate. So it has not been put out to bid yet. I'm still working with MoDOT on going back and forth in review, but I do believe we will have this with this additional funding.
How much is it over?
Well, right now the last estimate was somewhere around 1.1 million. So this would put us right in there at that amount. So you're looking at 660 plus it's 820 plus 300. You're at 1.1 million.
Are you putting any timelines on this project for us?
Yes, the current schedule, and I say current because it is not, we don't have the approval from MoDOT yet. But we're looking at an April 2nd closure and then a July 20th completion date. What that does is it allows about 2.5 weeks between the fair, so that schedule can go out just, 2.5 weeks. So,
If we're not successful on the grant, can we take it out of the stormwater?
yes, we can, the box culvert replacement project would be eligible for stormwater funding, unless Mark corrects me. I would also add that we have,
You were a bobblehead there. Which way was that going?
Yes, you I said yes, matter of fact, and then, and I would also add that we did earmark $50,000 through the Franklin County Transportation Fund as well to offset some of these costs. So once again, I'm just trying to corral those dollars to get that done. The problem with the grant funding, one of the issues with, having this grant opportunities are they're 5 years out in advance. The projects are typically 5 years, so it's hard to project how bad some of the infrastructure may get within that 5 years. And I would assume that we probably did not go down and look to see how bad a shape those 72-inch pipes were. If you get a chance to go down there, not that it's in any dire condition, but it would need to be done, and adding 5 foot of fill over top of it is not a wise decision. So,
That's why I was wondering, because it's important to have the concrete box culvert put in place.
very important. It makes zero sense to spend $800,000 without having the pipes fixed under the ground.
Okay.
So,
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a supplemental agreement by and between the City of Washington and the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for the Bluff Road Improvements Project, STP 6400623, in the City of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Heidrich?
Aye.
Scornia?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Brinker?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
Sulentrop?
Yes.
Moheski?
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Tyler Technologies for Tyler Parks and Rec software and services.
Patke.
Introduced by Councilman Patke. Darren?
As discussed at the ad hoc meeting about a week ago, we tried to identify better ways to serve our community and provide service, and one of those was to be able to take credit cards. And by taking this Tyler module, it'll tie into our financial software. We'll be able to take some reservations and stuff by computer, as well as credit cards in the office. And it'll do everything our recreation program that we have now does and more. So we are recommending to move forward with this purchase.
Any questions or comments?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Tyler Technologies for Tyler Parks and Rec software and services. Heidrich?
Aye.
Scornia?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Brinker?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
Sulentrop?
Yes.
Moheski?
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance accepting the bid from Terex Utilities, Inc., and to approve the purchase of one Terex High Ranger LT40 articulating telescoping bucket truck and one Terex High Ranger TM100 non-over-center bucket truck by the City of Washington, Missouri.
Patke.
Introduced by Councilman Patke.
Also, as discussed at the ad hoc meeting, we have been looking for the past several years to replace both of the bucket trucks, and in doing so, we are able to use the current half-cent capital improvement sales tax to do that. My staff, mainly Chad Owens, did research for the past 3 months, looking at different bucket trucks, looking at new, looking at used, looking at intergovernmental cooperative purchasing agreements, and in doing so, we feel that Terex gives us the best product for our needs. And since we are a member of the NJPA, we're able to get in on that cooperative purchasing agreement, and also they will take in the trade-in of our existing 2 trucks. And this comes in approximately $100,000 under what we had originally had budgeted. And these bucket trucks will be used by Public Works and Parks.
How many hours were on both those trucks?
I don't know that off the top of my head, but I know for the past 3 or 4 years, we have been limping through with the trucks that we have, and we have put in thousands of dollars in repairs. And on the large bucket truck, on some of them, they don't even make the parts for. We had to have customized part made for it just to limp through to where we are now.
How often do these bucket trucks get used?
The small bucket truck gets pretty much used on a daily basis by one of the departments. The large bucket trucks gets used probably 3 times a week.
Any other questions?
An ordinance accepting the bid from Terex Utilities, Inc., and to approve the purchase of one Terex High Ranger LT40 articulating telescoping bucket truck and one Terex High Ranger TM100 non-overcenter bucket truck by the City of Washington, Missouri. Hydrich.
Aye.
Scornia.
Yes.
Hatchke.
Yes.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Brinker.
Yes.
Waterman.
Yes.
Sullentrup.
Yes.
Moheski.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the City of Washington to enter into a contract with Modern Pool Management Corporation, doing business as Midwest Pool Management of America, Ltd., for the operations and management of the Agnes Nolting Aquatic Complex.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Councilman Holtmeyer.
Also, as discussed at the ad hoc meeting, our contract that we had with Midwest Pool expired this last year, and in moving forward, and with the half-cent sales tax of not knowing what we're going to be doing with the future of our pool, and so instead of going with a multi-year contract like we have done in the past, like a 5-year contract, we're proposing a 1-year contract with the city's option to add 2 additional years. And we went out for RFPs on this. Midwest Pool was the only company that submitted a proposal. In doing so, looking at it, the other prices were very reasonable. Actually, they're a little bit less than what they've been in the past. And with the support of the Parks Commission, we recommend moving forward with this contract.
Any questions?
Darren, I know I've given you a hard time about this in a Parks meeting before, too. I guess I do appreciate the fact that we just went a 1-year contract and we got an option for 2 and 3. I just like to look when we do go new pool. Hopefully that's the avenue we're going here in the next few years, that we look at in-house and how, and if it would be cost effective, if it would be worth our while to do that in-house and keep employees throughout the year for what we need. So, I mean, for now, I think this is the best way to go, no doubt. So.
Yeah, that's one of the discussions we did have at the Parks Commission, and due to the timing of this and transitioning possibly into a new pool, that would be the best time to look and give us time to do the research and find out what the cost would be. And it also is going to depend on what type of pool would be built, would also affect what the cost would be to operate that.
Is that what it was? Any other questions?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the City of Washington to enter into a contract with Modern Pool Management Corporation, doing business as Midwest Pool Management of America, Ltd., for the operations and management of the Agnes Nolting Aquatic Complex. Hydrich.
Aye.
Scornia.
Yes.
Hatchke.
Yes.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Brinker.
Yes.
Waterman.
Yes.
Sullentrup.
Yes.
Moheski.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
Mayor's report.
As you can see on our agenda, our next council meeting will be scheduled for Tuesday, February 20th. That's the day after President's Day, so mark your calendar to be here on a Tuesday. And the only other comment I just wanted to mention was that Saturday evening I attended the military ball for our high school ROTC program. The chief was there along with a couple of our other police officers, but if you ever have an opportunity to attend, it's a really neat event and nice, very formal and very military-like, but to see all the ROTC members doing their thing, and it was really great. And I had the honor of presenting scholarships, and they offered 2 scholarships that evening, and Jack Polite was the recipient of one of them, and he'll be attending Mizzou in the fall. And the other one was Luke Grayson, who has been accepted into the Naval Academy to play football. And he'll be heading to Annapolis. He has to go somewhere else first for 10 months, a training school or whatever, and then he'll be heading to Annapolis.
Basic training.
Basic training, yes, but he'll be playing football there. And just a comment about our community in the eyes of the new Sergeant Gates, who's the new director of the program. He's been at numerous schools around the country with the ROTC program, and stated that evening to the crowd that he had never been to a community as generous and as supportive of the ROTC as what our community is, that you put them all together and we still support more in the ROTC program. So it was a great night for the cadets, but it was also a great night for the city of Washington. I thought there was a lot of support for our community.
He also added he just moved 23 different times in his career. And this is the best community he's ever moved to.
How many?
23 times.
How old?
I don't know.
We didn't ask that, so anyway.
The Master Sergeant said
It's a lot.
one of the reasons he came here because of what he found and saw in this community, and it's the best community he's ever seen. So
It really was a neat night. I mean, but it was for the cadets and everything, like I said, but it was also, we were kind of very proud to be there, to hear his comments and all that. And these students are just really great. Really,
They
really
want to
great.
party with you.
It was good, so that's all I have.
City Administrator's report.
The Capital Improvement Sales Tax Committee has started into the next phase of their duties, I guess. The marketing portion is what's started next. They had their first meeting. They've moved the meetings down to the Chamber of Commerce. We had our first meeting last Tuesday, I believe, and the next meeting will be on the 13th at 10 o'clock. And they've divided up some responsibilities with those, a group of speakers, brochure committee, several subcommittees to go ahead and work on the next portion of the marketing. A couple other items. We have received, I don't have a report for you tonight, but we have received some insurance claims, or at least some rough numbers, due to damage to our roofs from earlier this last spring. We finally got a whole list of those, but they're working on revising some of those numbers, and I'll get that back to you at a later date. We also are still working on the budget. The Finance Department gave out worksheets for to get access for the department heads to go ahead and start working on those. And the last item I have was we were notified KMOV Channel 4 is going to be doing some live events with their meteorological team or whatever for at the Washington High School on March the 8th, and they'll be here all day. They'll be broadcasting at early in the morning and be running specials, and so it's kind of a nice little way to showcase the community. They reached out to us, and Mark Scornia is working with them because just due to the timing of the year with severe weather updates, et cetera, and planning for that. And I do have an item to discuss with you in executive session. So.
Council comments?
Any comments?
City Attorney's report. Public vote on whether or not to hold a closed meeting to discuss personnel, legal, and real estate matters pursuant to Section 610.021 RSMO 2000. Heidrich? Aye. Scornia?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Brinker?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
Sullentrup?
No.
Moheski?
No.